Danny, what's it like just to be back out here playing again, and you had to take some time off this spring to be back and continue practice?
Feels good, man. When they told me I couldn't throw for a few weeks, definitely hit me hard because we were just getting in the groove, just getting started. I felt like I was making progress. Getting ready to work with the team. But just being out here day one, it's always exciting. Knocking off the rust and just being out there having fun with the guys.
What was that like to deal with? I mean, were you nervous or worried about just the fact that it's another shoulder issue? Did you be confident that it would just get over it with some rest?
Now I was confident. They told me I had to sit down a few weeks, and I was like, man, I could go right now. So I just had to listen to the team. Just take the advice from the medical team, take the advice from my trainer, and just prepare myself for this upcoming season and just be ready for training camp.
How have your conversations with Shane been, and what do you need to do to be the starter and quarterback on this team?
I think it's the same every year. Prepare. Make sure I'm at the best of my possible self. For this team. The same thing go back to my rookie year when I was competing with Gardner for the starting job. Just learning the offense, mastering the offense, and just being available for the team. I think that's the main thing. Conversations with Shane haven't really changed much. He told us that Daniel not going to compete. He let us know every day it's a competition, so we both got to work and compete for that job, and whoever wins it, wins it.
Anthony, when you got the shoulder soreness last month, were you surprised by that? Had you had any experience like that prior to that?
No, I wasn't necessarily surprised. Had the surgery like a year and a half ago, so I've been dealing with on and off soreness with that, but I thought it was just from the volume of throwing, my arm just trying to get used to it, but it was something else, and I wasn't necessarily worried about it. I was like, okay, that's just another bump in the road. Just make sure I'm doing what I could do just to help the team in any way. So in the meeting rooms, I was trying to master the offense even more. Riley was asking me questions, trying to help him out a little bit. So just being around and just helping the team any way possible, even though I couldn't be on the field, I could do other things, lead a certain way and just be present.
It's kind of normal to have, soreness after the fact like that, or what did they tell you?
I don't know. I just feel like it's with anything. You constantly do something, all the time. Just like a shooter playing basketball, constantly putting up jump shots, your shoulder's going to be a little sore from all that work. So I just thought it was just, just type of, account thing. But it wasn't that. But I'm ready now, and I'm ready to go.
What was the rehab process like for you when you went from the team? What did you do to kind of get yourself ready for it?
The best thing for it was honestly just rest. Surprisingly. To say that, it was really just rest, let my arm just rest and recover. And whenever we did start throwing, it was just back like a normal schedule. It wasn't anything major, anything different. Just rest my arm and just get back going.
You didn't work this offseason, just throwing work. Was there certain parts of your game you're trying to focus on, like certain routes or certain distances, or how did you go about figuring out what to do?
When it came to throwing again, I wasn't necessarily worried about pushing the ball down the field because I'm pretty sure everybody knows I can do that. The biggest thing for me was just, the intermediate short routes, being able to complete those whenever I can. Because I feel like that'll help our offense, progress, and that'll help us move the ball more. So I was really working on that, working on my footwork, trying to make sure I'm calm and I'm just ready to deliver the ball wherever it needs to be. So that's really the main thing right there.
Obviously, you guys, Daniel has more experience than you. What have you learned from him since he's come here?
Man, he's always working. He's a smart guy. He's always asking questions. So I try to do the same thing. I try to get insight on anything that'll help me to get better, anything that'll help the team get better. Really smart guy, man. So I just try to gain some mental toughness from him and just constantly just work.
How can going against Lou Anarumo's defense make you better in training?
I actually love it, especially during OTAs. They were throwing out different looks, and I was actually kind of excited for that because it makes me process things a little bit differently, and it helps me get more answers whenever things aren't going the best way for our offense. And it just gives me a chance to just find ways to move the ball and complete passes. So I'm definitely excited to keep working against those guys and definitely learning their defense a little bit more.
What's the time you missed throughout Cuban Legato? Obviously, you want something so bad, right? So what's the balance? Okay, I want this end goal, but I can't probably get it to you.
Honestly, it's just loving the process. These past 2 years, I definitely, try to embrace that a little bit more. Everybody wants success, like right here, right now, but I feel like sometimes when you get success, it's not really all what it seems. The process is really the best thing, and that's really what I'm trying to enjoy now. And also when it comes to competition, of course I'm competing with Daniel, but I'm also competing with myself. Trying to be the better version of myself than I was last year. There were definitely things I could have worked on last year, so I'm trying to improve on that and make sure I'm just available for the team whenever they need me.
What body-wise did you change your way
Man, surprisingly, I actually lost weight. You know, I wasn't trying, but it just happened. So now I'm like 240 now, moving a little faster, feeling a little lean, and hopefully I can keep it like that and stay healthy.
Is that condition? You know, I know you said you were trying everything to help conditioning-wise at all?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like just me, putting in the work to be conditioned. You know, I feel like that'll take care of itself. But I feel like I'm back to my college way. I feel like I can move around a little bit more. And it's also just just other things like sleep schedule, eating right, hydrating, just taking care of myself and just being a pro.
Would you play it last
Cheer
year?
the crowd, cheer you. What does that mean to you?
It's exciting, because I know this city loves and supports me. I just got to do my part, make sure I can do everything in my power to be the quarterback that they want me to be and need me to be. So it definitely feels good, but I can't let it get to my head. I still got a lot of work to do and I still got to get that job. So, I definitely appreciate it, but work not done.
With the time you missed this spring, how important was it just for you to get out there to California with the guys?
No, it was definitely good. We definitely had some fun times out there, fishing. The guys were putting in work. It was definitely exciting. I didn't get to, be out there and throw with them, but just being around the guys, and just spending time with them just helps us build that chemistry a little bit more. So whenever we are on the field, it's easier for us to communicate and just make things happen. So it was definitely a good time, and I appreciate the guys for inviting me out there.
Thanks, Andy.
For sure.